Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today is a mobility training day. Mobility is the ability of a joint to move through an active range of motion. So, as opposed to flexibility, where it's just the ability of a joint to lengthen, the active range of motion is where mobility and flexibility differ. So, a lot of the stretches that we do are going to be movement based stretches. It's not going to be a workout. It's going to be similar to like a yoga style or stretching style class where we kind of move through range of motion um, to enhance the mobility of our bodies because that is a very important thing. One, as we age, two, as we work in corporate, and three, just to be mobile humans who can move their bodies and not be stiff. So we're going to be seated, cross-legged, and you can put your hands on your knees. We're going to begin with some gentle neck circles, taking your time to just move through every little space there, big, small, or big, slow neck circles. We'll do 5 on each side. Once you've done 5 one way, go the other direction. And then we'll come back to center. Take your nose and turn it to the right, looking just to the right. And to the left, nice and slow. Back to center. Look up. And look down. Place your hands on your ankle area. And then we're going to draw some circles, pushing the chest forward and then rounding the spine. Taking your time once again, moving through the whole range of motion here. Finding every nook and cranny that needs a little stretch. We're going to do 5 each direction. Go the other way if you haven't yet. And once you've done your 5, you can come back to seated. We're going to take our shoulders up by our ears and back down. Take them back behind you and then pull them forward. So we're going to put all those together into a shoulder circle. Bring them up, pull them back and down all the way through, down, 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 forward, and up. Explore every part of that, pulling the shoulder blades down and back as you come back, rounding forward as you come forward. We'll do 5 of those. That was 3, 4, and 5. Good. Place your feet down just slightly in front of you and about a foot apart. You're going to just rock your legs side to side, windmill. And then we'll come through into a kneeling position. Gonna do just a couple cat-cows, so dropping the belly, looking up, pushing away from the ground, rounding the spine, really creating space. And then we're going to take the left hand down and the right hand to the head. We'll come down, tap the elbow down to the ground or the wrist, and then look up. Nose continues to follow, so your spine stays long, and then come back down. We'll do 5 on each side, taking your time, big stretch at the top, making sure that your head comes with you. It's a good stretch for the thoracic spine. 4, and 5. Once you've done your 5th one, you can come back to the other side, hand on the head, tap it down, open it up, big stretch. Really pulling that elbow up to the sky. Once you're done with your 5, we are coming into downward dog. So tuck your toes under and peel your hips up and come into a downward dog. Sorry, guys. Having some hair issues. Now that I have short hair, a scrunchie it doesn't cut it anymore. So we're gonna go from downward dog into upward dog. Keeping our hips high. For our downward dog, we'll roll through forward and come up into upward dog. You can flip your toes if you want to, but for this one, you really don't need to. Then we'll pull our hips back and end up back in downward dog. So do that one once if you didn't do it with me. And that was 1. We're going to go to 5. So roll it through, all the way under, and up, look up, arch the back, and then pull the hips up and do it again. Once you've done 5, you're going to walk your hands towards your feet. Take your feet slightly apart. If you're on a mat, maybe close to the outside of your mat. And sit the hips down into a low yogi squat. So if your hips don't naturally sit down here and feel comfortable, if you don't feel like you could stay here for a while, grab something that you can sit on and place it underneath your hips. If you're good to go, join me. We're going to take our left hand to our right ankle, and then we're going to open up, looking up at the sky, twisting, trying to keep this leg from coming in. So keep it up, open up, and then come back down to center. We're going to do 5. Take your time, or whether you want to take your time and feel every inch of the motion coming all the way to the top of each stretch, and then back down. Once you've done 5, you can switch hands, opening up the other way. Good. And then quick little stretch here. Place the hands together, push the knees out. It's more a flexibility one, but I just can't resist. I just love this stretch. And then we're going to sit down and windmill our knees to the side. So now my foot is on the inside of my leg here or on my thigh. And then I'm gonna push forward and stand up onto my knees. So make sure that you've got your foot on your thigh, the other foot is back with enough space that you can kneel up and come back down. 5 on each leg. It's a good one for the hips. Again, mobility, the ability of you to move your body through a range of motion. Once you've done your 5, we'll switch over to the other side and lift up our 5 times. Get a little windmill of the legs one more time now that they're a little bit closer in. And we're going to come forward into a moving shoulder stretch. So kneeling, you're going to take your hands nice and wide onto your fingertips. And then you're just going to alternate dropping shoulders down to the ground. So the shoulder you're dropping down, that arm stays straight, the other arm stays bent. Go ahead and go through that about 10 times total, taking your time, especially a quick little pause down there at the bottom as you feel that stretch. Hips stay up because we're kneeling. Once you've done your 10, you're going to come back to kneeling. Send one leg straight out. And then we're going to just rock backwards and rock forward. Pushing your hips back and then coming back up. You should feel that in the inner thigh of the straight leg. As you rock back. Take your time. And then switch. And then we'll come back to our bent knees. We're going to do one quick flexibility one while we're here is a froggy stretch. So send the knees out, let them slide out beneath you. And then just rest, relax, breathe. And then start to rock forward and back. Small movements, never causing yourself any pain with these kinds of stretches, just discomfort. Discomfort is okay, pain, not so much. And then you can come onto your belly, tuck your toes, and come up into downward dog one more time. Now we're paddling our feet, alternating bending each leg. Getting a little bit of calf mobility, ankle mobility. Sending each heel down to the ground for a second. And then keep one ankle down and with the other one draw a couple circles, keeping the toes on the ground. Just drawing the ankle around and then switch directions. And then switch feet. Maybe 3 ankle circles in each direction. Walk the feet towards the hands. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to. And we're just going to walk our hands right and left. So take a little pause when we get to the side, and then walk over to the other side nice and slow. Feeling out every inch of the movement. And then come back to the center, start to roll it up. Then we're going to do some good mornings. So keeping our legs almost all the way straight, we're just going to push our hips back and send our chest forward to come down about halfway. You'll start to feel your hamstring stretch. Keep your back completely flat. Make sure that you're not rounding at all. And come down to where you feel that hamstring stretch. Pause for a second and come back up. Don't lock your knees out. They're just almost straight. They've got a natural slight bend. Push those hips back. Feel that hamstring stretch. And then come back up. That was 2. We're doing 5. We'll take a big wide straddle. And then we're going to sink down, pushing our hips down and back behind us as low as you can go, keeping your heel down. Once you get to that spot, lift those toes up, feel your stretch. You can put your hands down. We're going to come up and over to the other side. So if you need your hands to help you get there, it'll look like this. Same thing, sinking nice and low, and then turning that toe up. If you feel like you've got it without your hands, you're just going to stand up and then come back over. You might need to adjust how far away your feet are. You'll figure that out. Spending a quick moment at the bottom of each stretch. One more on each side. And then come back up. Turn your toes so you come to the left and drop that knee down, coming into a hip flexor stretch. So you can leave your hands down, or if you want to really focus on your strength today, you can pick them up. But we're just going to pick our knee up and then come back down. So we're straightening that leg, coming back down. We'll do 5. And then start to rock backwards, flexing the toe, hamstring stretch, forwards into your hip flexor. Let's do 5 of those. So we're pulling our hips back, straightening the leg, flexing up the toes, reaching down, and then coming forward. Then you're going to come back up into the position we were in before and just rock yourself in a small circle 5 times. 5 to the right, 5 to the left. And we'll drop our back knee once those are done. Take our right hand on the inside of our left foot. And we're going to open up to the sky and then pull down, taking our elbow all the way to our hand. We'll open up and then come down, elbow to hand, 5 times. Very good. Walk it back, switch it out, other foot forwards, and it's time for those knee lifts. So tuck the toes in the back, lift up 5 times. Then rock it back 5 times, flexing the toes up, hamstring stretch to hip flexor stretch. Once you've done your 5, lift back into that lunge and do your 5 circles in each direction. Should feel good on the hips, hip flexor especially. Once you're done, drop the knee, left hand to the inside of the right foot, right arm comes up, pull the elbow down, tap by the hand and come back up 5 times. Again, working through the whole range of motion. Explore that twist, come all the way down to the ground, and breathe through it. Awesome. Once you're done, we're coming into our yogi squat one more time, and we're going to go between our yogi squat and a forward fold. So we'll be down here, then we're going to send our hips up, try to get our chest towards our legs, and then come back into that squat. Now you can do this without your hands. I kind of like having them there because it helps you push towards the stretch in your forward fold. So do what feels good for you. Do anywhere between 5 to 10. And then kneel down. Once you're finished, if you want to do a couple more, you are more than welcome. And we're going to come into a back bend. So I'm going to have you guys place your hands on your hips. Notice if they're behind you right now. See if you can stand up tall on those knees. And start to push your hips forward as you lean your upper body back. Keep your hands where they are for right now. Pushing the hips forward, leaning the shoulders back. If you'd like to, you can reach for your heels now, but you don't have to. Just keep those hips forward. Breathe through it. Start to make your way back up. Take a second because that's an intense stretch. Just with a neutral spine. And then if you're near a couch, I actually suggest you using your couch or your coffee table or whatever is close to this height. I'm going to show you here, but then I'll show you how to do it on the ground. Can you see me over here? Yeah, okay. So you're going to place your hands on your couch or whatever it may be, and then start to sink your shoulders down and your upper body down and just let it hang. So you'll do that a few times. I'm actually not in alignment here. You want your hips over your knees. Do that a few times, coming down, feeling the stretch, coming back up. So if you have your couch option, rock on. You can begin. If you don't, I'll join you on the ground. We're going to do it in puppy pose. So you'll slide your hands out, start to come down to the ground, let the chest come down, and then come up slightly and make your way back into the puppy pose. So let's do that a few times, 5 to 10. Let that chest melt down. So good for the upper back, so good for correcting poor posture and sitting all day. I do this one like every day when my back starts to hurt. Awesome. And then we can do that same thing with our elbows down. It's a little bit more intense. Come down. You can even just hold it if you want. Sometimes that one feels so good. And if you have your couch, same thing. Just place your elbows down, place your palms together, and then slide everything down and through. And just hold it. And then come all the way onto your belly. We'll place our hands by our rib cage. Tuck our toes flat on the ground. And then we're going to press up, look up, roll back down. So again, press up, look up, roll back down. 3 more. Awesome. Once you've done your 5, go ahead and pull your hips back to child's pose. We're going to end here so you can have your knees together and your feet together, or your big toes together and your knees nice and wide. Walk your hands forward, let your forehead rest on the ground, and just breathe to close out the class, noticing how your body feels now that you just did 30 minutes of mobility. Start to make your way up to a seat. I hope you guys enjoyed mobility today instead of flexibility. You'll have to let me know what you think. And if anything, maybe it's not your jam, but these are some good exercises that you can use in your warm-ups prior to your workout. So if you're doing legs someday, you can do those side to side warm-ups. You can do some of those froggy rocks. You can do any of it really. If you're doing an upper body back day, maybe you do some of those T-spine warm-ups. So take those with you as you move through your fitness journey. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye. Yay, thanks Irina, glad you liked it.